This episode of Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use coupon code SOUTHGATE for 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Parrott, and you are listening to Vacation the Lunatics Sidekicks Podcast.
Hey, what about our Comic Capers podcast?
Ugh, what about us? What about us?
Every time Luca speaks, it gives me little butterflies in my heart. It's so cute. I love Luca speaking.
And the
It's
alcohol.
so fluffy, I'm gonna die!
Welcome
It's
back.
cute.
Welcome back to this mess called Comic Capers. I am Phil. Joining me as always is Lil Hellfire
Ahoy, ahoy!
and Charlie Esser.
The Professor. Do not leave off my meaningless honorific.
And
I did not work hard to have it.
you're fake honorific. So, yes.
It's meaningless. It's not fake.
We were going to switch to something else.
There's a difference.
We were going to switch to something else, but for one more week, Lilith demanded more U.S. Agent.
I actually enjoyed it. I'm sure Lilith did too. She is the U.S. agent fan among us.
Well, she said she was all, before we started, she's all jealous that he got the alias Jack Daniels before she could think of it.
She could be Jackie Daniels, just like they did.
Yeah,
with
we
Jackie
were.
McKee.
Yeah.
I said that the next podcast alias. That's what it's gonna be.
You could be Janice Daniels. Make him think. Make him work for it. That's my rules. Always make him work for it.
Josina Cuervo.
Yes. Or just Joshua Cuervo.
Oh, look. Charlie is so right. Luca is the best. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, hi, Vinny.
Hey,
Uh,
okay, shape up.
Anywho's it's so let's talk about this great story which kind of eerily mirrors. So there's two things I want to say about this story. First off, the spoiler reveal at the end I knew about before I'm reading it, but as I'm reading it, I completely misplaced the spoiler.
oh.
Because that was like the coolest that and this to me is why Marvel is a great storytelling company. Because I knew what the spoiler was going to be. I was prepared for the spoiler. And then, this strange old man shows up. Oh, he just happens to have a cinder block room in his basement with a 3 foot thick oak door. Who could he be? And then, no, completely not that guy. Just a complete different rando. Literally everything that you thought it was going to be is exactly what they gave you because they're going to do the reveal later with something else. And I love that about Marvel. Marvel doesn't do the obvious, in my opinion.
Yeah, because this is basically just like gives you some answers finally about Scourge of the Underworld.
Mm-hmm. But I like the fact that, and again, this, as I wrote to Brian about, that the past is not far behind. Here we have Scourge saying, gee, John Walker, you'd make a great Scourge. Wouldn't you like to be a Scourge, John Walker? And in Mr. Coates' book, who recently said justice is served?
John Walker.
Yeah, which tells me that, and this is the thing, I get the feeling that there are really famous writers who are much bigger comic book nerds than they let on. Like Mr. Coates has said, yes, of course, I'm a big comic book fan. You read U.S. Agent, Mr. Coates. You were a deep dive comic book nerd.
It's like Grunwald. Everyone loved Grunwald.
Well, everyone does love Grunwald.
He's a comic book guy. He's the comic books guy, comics book guy.
John Walker, U.S. Agent, the Captain America with the red and black costume. Yeah, but not Captain America, but the guy who was Captain America who became him. That's U.S. Agent.
You mean like that guy after Captain America became Captain America again? He became
Exactly, he became U.S. Agent John Walker.
Okay.
Here under the name alias Jack Daniels.
Also, I fell and I hurt my thigh. Now it's okay.
Okay, good. Tristan hurt his thigh, but now it's okay. For the update
Go to
on the
Willis.
child
Hello.
running in the house, medical news. Anyway, no, but I loved this. I loved this story. I loved everything we got. They called the trainer the Master. Now, they don't say if the Master is Bloodstain. And part of me wonders, is the Master supposed to be Tony Masters? There is this is a story ripe for retcons.
Yeah, but Taskmaster always is such a fancy man. He's always announcing himself. You think if it was Taskmaster, he'd announce himself.
Unless, because as we know, this is associated with the Red Skull as well, unless he was told, don't do the Taskmaster hood for this one. You know, go be someone else. It's fine, I'll just be the Master. You know,
but
if the pay is good, if the pay is regular, he'll do it.
Yeah.
You know,
but here I found some summaries on my phone. So you want to do the summaries for each 4 of these again?
Yes, for those of you who have not read these amazing books because you didn't hear that you were supposed to.
All right, so issue 1 of U.S. Agent. In a seedy apartment building somewhere in Los Angeles, the scourge of the underworld pays a visit to Manuel Elenganto, intending to kill him, but finds that he has reformed and is babysitting his sister's children. El Laganto says that he has paid his debt to society and stayed clean for years. He will never again dishonor his family as he did in his youth. The Scourge retorts that once a criminal, always a criminal, and is about to shoot him. But at the last moment, he cries out and runs out of the room, running into El Laganto's sister on the way downstairs. It says he, but we know it's not a he. He jumps into a gray van and starts to drive away, but someone named Domino, no, not X-Force, asks him via the car radio
Domino!
what his mission status is. He destroys the radio. Meanwhile,
Poor man's arcade.
Exactly. Somewhere over the Pacific Coast Highway outside Los Angeles, U.S. Agent is cruising on his Sky Cycle. Clint Barton over the radio tells him to remember the end of the summer bash to be held at the Avengers compound that night. Agent replies that he is busy and comes upon an old man changing his tire. He helps him out, and the man hands him a church program. He's a minister, and his Ned is Ned Nordstrom. He offers to
or
help.
so he implies.
He offers to help U.S. Agent with whatever is troubling him. Later, U.S. Agent pulls up to the Avengers compound, wondering about the old man and how he knew that something was troubling him. Like he can't see his face. He hears the racket from the party and has to walk by it in order to get to his bungalow. A few of the other Avengers try to convince him to join the party, but he refuses. He goes to his room and mopes around, thinking that he doesn't fit in with these California clowns. Barton...
I can relate.
Yes. Barton has left a life-size blow-up doll in his bed, which makes him even more upset.
And this is why we love
comes in
Clint.
handy later.
Hey-o! He reflects that all of the other Avengers are just a bunch of goofballs, misfits, and slackers, and that it's amazing that they managed to do what little good they do. Who's this, Lilith? He is tempted to leave, but without him, this outfit would go to the dogs. He remembers his
classic narcissistic self-obsession.
Exactly.
Yes.
He remembers his old... Glad you can recognize it in others, Lilith. He remembers his old dreams of power, which led him to sign up for the Power Broker's grueling strength augmentation treatment. His dreams of glory, which led him to take the guise of Super Patriot and challenge Captain America. His dreams of honor, which caused him to accept government agent Val Cooper's offer to replace Captain America. However, as Captain America, he was forced to fight his old friend Jerome Johnson and Hector Lennox, who are calling themselves right and left winger. His parents were kidnapped and killed by a group of militants called the Watchdogs. After that, the government decided to fake his death so he could go undercover. They fashioned new identities for him while he laid low and trained like crazy. Then he was assigned to join the West Coast Avengers and keep an eye on them. In his opinion, they didn't take their job seriously enough. The work superheroes do is what gives structure and meaning to their lives. He heads down to the communications center, unable to sleep due to the salsa music from the party, and greets Sandros. But there's nothing much going on, so he sits down to wait. It's not long before a woman calls in saying she's in a bar and is being stalked by the Scourge. Agent heads out to rescue her, thinking about the various Scourges on the way. He himself has encountered 3, and Captain America had a run-in with a 4th. He goes to the bar, and after a run-in with a bouncer, he finds the caller and gives her the code phrase, Sheboygan makes good sausages.
Hey now!
Hey now!
Lilith!
What a pickup line.
Was this the 13-year-old Jew doing a Jim Shooter and sending in lines to a comic book company?
Sausage! She says that her name is Lisa Winters and the Scourge is after her. He shot out her tires a few blocks from here, but won't attack her while she's in the bar for fear of harming the lives of innocents. She claims that he is after her because he has mistaken her for her twin sister, Mysteria, petty thief based in Las Vegas.
I don't think any of this is true. In fact, I think I've seen this young woman before, Philip.
Oh, yes. All right. He gets her out of the bar and has a fight with the Scourge before finally bringing in the Quinjet to fly them to safety. The woman reveals that she is not actually Mysteria's sister. She is, in fact, a vagabond.
You don't say! Get out of town!
I wondered what happened to her after she disappeared from another book randomly.
A Scourge who chickened out on her first assignment. That's why the Scourges are after her. And that's the end of the first issue.
First off, she didn't chicken out. She had a moral awakening. Which is... Okay, you know what? No. Because this is the... Look. This is... I'm going to say this right now. All of Marvel Comics is a 20-year-long arc. Maybe 30, 40 year at this point. Arc of the John Walker legend.
Oh, Lord.
What the
hell? Okay. Because he eventually becomes the warden of the supervillains and expressly has the idea that we can reform. That prison, yes, it's punishment, yes, it's bad, but a man serves his time and then it is served. That there is law and justice. He is a... You know, this is an interesting thing. John Walker, to me, is Joe Friday. If those of you who don't know Dragnet, Joe Friday is the Uber cop. In the sense that no matter what you say, he has a book and he follows it, and the law is the law. And he doesn't always like when the law gets in his way, but he'd rather have the law get in his way than live in a lawless society. And that is John Walker. John Walker believes in law and order in the sense that he believes that law and order are good things and they must apply to everyone equally. So within this entire structure, there is this idea. In fact, later when we're going to get to it, when they are sort of saying, oh, you know, these people can't be reformed, it echoes John Walker's journey. This is a great microcosm of the journey that we're going to see John Walker go on over the next 40 years. 4 issues, 40 years. How did they freaking do it, Phil? To have him come down into the Scourge camp at the end of it, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But we really get an amazing arc over these 4 issues. And then when we think about it in contrasting to John Walker's actual story as a character no one cares about, it is amazing how much it all ties together.
I just want to know why Wonder Man's the only member of the West Coast Avengers who's at this party without everyone else is in costume, and he's the only one who's not in costume. You know, he's the normal.
First off, Wonder Man is his costume.
I know. No, that's
he
fine.
He just is Wonder Man. It's
no, he's the only one I understand. Why would Hawkeye and Spider-Woman and Scarlet Witch and especially War Machine be in their outfits if they're having a party?
Because everyone else is all kind of only thinks people will like them if they're in their costumes. Maybe. Wonder Man is the one person who is comfortable enough in his own skin to just be in his own skin.
And people love him only for his muscles.
Wonder Man is
nice
muscles. Man, you know what I'm saying?
You know, I mean, saying like, oh, people only like Wonder Man for his muscles is like saying, oh, people only like
Pam Anderson for her boobs.
Or Sir Lawrence Olivier for his acting. You know, it's like, you act like those muscles just came to him. It's like he worked hard on that. That was a commitment. It was an effort that people appreciated. He's glad they appreciate it. Just like if you had read War and Peace and was like, oh, I like him. He read War and Peace. Does that take any less time to read War and Peace than it does to get a 6-pack ab? No, actually getting a 6-pack ab probably takes far more time and commitment than reading War and Peace. So that guy who read War and Peace, he's a loser. He spent a few hours reading War and Peace. The guy with the 6-pack ab, he works out every day to maintain that, and he wants you to know it. The situation has dedication, and that's what you got to know.
Did Charlie Esser just make a Jersey Shore?
I mean, when in Rome, do as Romans do. GTL, homie. GTL.
Anyway, where were we from?
Well, any other thoughts on the first issue?
I kind of like the kind of pseudo neo noir like vibe they were trying to go for out of nowhere.
What, trench coats and code words?
Yeah, it's just like, okay.
I like that Hawkeye is actually being cool here.
Hawkeye is always cool, and if you can't appreciate Hawkeye, then I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, well, just before this, I read West Coast Avengers 69.
Exactly.
He's not being cool about anything. And here he is being...
It's Hawkeye being Hawkeye, though. Leave Mel Huntress alone.
I get that, but you can't say, oh, Hawkeye's always cool. When no, here he is. He's reaching out. He's being a nice guy to this guy. And that's what... Yeah, well, he plays a practical joke. Like, he's going to say, you're going to tell me John Walker, when he was in the military, never got razzed. No one ever razzed him. No one ever played a joke on him.
Not more than once.
Well, that's maybe the problem. It's like, dude, the stick up your rectum should not have a stick up its rectum. And so yeah, that's the thing there. So yeah, I think it was a silly joke, but it proved helpful later.
Oh yeah,
and that's sort of the thing. Although it's weird that he basically had $2 available. So okay, unless he had a patch kit somewhere, because they also have the other mannequin in the truck that Other Scourge shoots. So I think that was all this issue, or is that? Are we waiting? Or is that in the second issue? I'm not sure.
It might be the second issue, but
I don't know. It all runs together, Philip.
I know. All right. So should we?
But it's a fun issue, and John Walker, he is very much Joe Friday. He is a Joe Friday character, and I like that. I like the idea of a Boy Scout character who is not a moral Boy Scout but a book Boy Scout. I like is that Dewey or is that Louis? I want to say that's Louis. No. Is it Huey? But there's the woodchuck in the new DuckTales reboot who is very by the book. He's very, this is what the process is, this is what we do. And I like the idea of a superhero who is super by the book. I like the idea of a super cop, if you will. Although super cop, again, is someone who is not a good cop. It's like, no, you're not. Why do you call yourself a cop? You're clearly a mall security guard who got power augmented. You are not a super cop. You are not someone obeying the laws and the rules of law enforcement. You are clearly a militarized vigilante being fancy. And it's like, this is not a world for fancy men.
I'm not a fancy man.
As you know. And so, yeah, I like the idea of John Walker as a totally by-the-book kind of guy. Except he's not in this, which is a whole thing. But we'll get to that, and he'll get to where he's going in his arc. He's got an arc. It's going to take 40 years, kids. But we're going to get the John Walker arc, and it's going to be beautiful.
All right. So, oh, boy. The synopsis for issue 2 is very small. So.
Oh, good.
Yes.
You're being a little wordy, Phil. I'm just going to say that right now.
Sorry.
Paul, did you call me back? Hi, I'm the kettle. Did you call me back? All right. No, issue 2.
Kettle, yes.
Inside move. Lisa reveals to U.S. agent that she's Priscilla Lyons, briefly the Avenger vagabond that joined the Scourge program to train after she failed to get powers from the power broker.
What?
False advertising, not getting powers from the power broker.
Well, she decided not to get powers from the power broker. She realized that was a scam because it was totally a scam.
With her help, U.S. agent captures the new Scourge coming for her, stashing the prisoner with the reluctant Reverend Nordstrom. Walker attempts to impersonate the captured Scourge in an attempt to infiltrate the organization, but gets found out by Caprice as soon as she comes to pick him up and shoots him, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
That's all that synopsis for 2. So.
No, that's good. Because honestly, there's not much that happens in this story.
I mean, a lot of it is Vagabond telling you what happened after she left the Captain America. Or because we had seen when you originally see her, she meets up with like Nomad, and she wants his help to get her brother out of like this drug gang or whatever. Because I think the Slug was running it.
Yeah, good old. I love this Slug. He's great. Slug needs to do more work. He's Florida Kingpin. I love that. Everything about him is Florida Kingpin.
And like a hover chair. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. No offense, Lilith. But
no,
I just live here. No offense taken.
But yeah, no. After Vagabond, leaves Cap and Demon and all them. Yeah, she goes home and finds out her brother died, and she realizes she needs superpowers. So we get the flashback when she went to the power broker, and
yeah. Well, this is a book. This is a series that is full of flashbacks.
Yes.
In fact, the next issue is pretty much all flashbacks.
Oh yeah.
In fact, pretty much basically acid flashbacks, which is fun.
Exactly.
But yeah, but this issue, it is this idea that so Vagabond tells her story, and you get the feeling there was this urge to make a series out of this, and they wanted to establish, okay, here's all the continuity you need to know for this series.
Yes.
And I think that was a mistake on their part. I think they should have trusted readers to know stuff. And, and as an example, if you're going to give Priscilla's backstory, just say, yeah, they used to, I'm actually Priscilla. I hung out with Nomad. I was the Vagabond. And literally no one would care more than that. And honestly, if they did care, they could have put a little box that said, check out Captain America X through or Nomad X through Y and Captain America Z through 2, and that would have been a thing. They don't have to give that detail here. Yeah. So that I think was a mistake, except for the fact that I think that they, if anything, I will say this, that they said, make this 4 issues. Well, we only got like 2 issues of the story. It's like, make it 4 issues. Well, I guess we could do a lot of flashbacks. It's like, great, make it 4 issues. And so this is how they get to 4 issues. Waste a lot of time with backstory.
Yeah, I mean, basically everything was there in the summary except for another Scourge taking someone out in an adult movie theater.
I just want to say, was that like a Pee Wee Herman reference? I don't know. But I just want to say it's probably my favorite title of all 4 of them, Inside Moves. It's like, okay, I got you.
Okay. I didn't even get that. But, I guess, is that supposed to be the porno title?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see that. I've already seen this one. I don't know, man. It was a weird take on it, and honestly, the idea of I'm in an adult movie theater. First off, if you're in an adult movie theater, do you really buy popcorn? I'm just asking for a friend.
Don't kink shame. Somebody might like the butter, man.
Okay, but I'm just saying. And also, I'm not going to get too much into it.
Wait, do we see popcorn? I don't see popcorn in here.
Oh, no one had popcorn? Somehow I thought someone had popcorn in this scene.
Yeah, I don't think they were actually technically allowed to serve it in those places. I'd have to ask a friend of a friend, but I don't think they were.
Well, no, because legally, what happens in the theater isn't their fault. They're keeping the food station clean. The food station is freaking pristine.
Well, I mean, at least this is like a good place to kill somebody, because if you're reaching in your coat for something, no one's going to think twice.
Well, yeah.
Everybody's going to avoid eye contact with you.
But what I'm going to say is, like, okay, so the guy sits behind him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, man, it's a free country." It's like, first off, if I am in an adult theater, not that I have recently been, but I'm just gonna say theaters are closed, man. It's a national scourge. If I'm in an adult theater and someone sits directly behind me, and he's like, "Hey, man, it's a free country," I'm gonna say, "You know what? You're right. Let me move. Let me move away from you, because whatever your kink is, it's not my kink personally. Unless Domino went so deep, it's like, look, he's gonna like it when you sit behind. He's gonna say he doesn't, but he's totally into it, dude. Sit right behind him. He likes that. He likes the idea."
And Lilith, who did he kill? Who did he kill in the theater? Blowtorch.
Oh, I was too busy looking at the stills. I'm sorry.
I don't know who Blowtorch was. I'm sure there's a villain named Blowtorch. Just because it's an obvious villain name.
I just thought Lilith would find humor in that name.
Blowtorch.
Oh,
you know.
Blowtorch. You know.
Lilith is 12. Remember?
Yeah, 13. Let's get it right.
Yeah. First off, Lilith is over 18, so that none of this is illegal.
On the inside, I'm a 13. I have the sense of humor of a 13-year-old boy, and I'm fine with that.
That, you know what? First off, many adult men have the maturity of a 13-year-old boy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I know, and that's why it's so funny.
Yeah. So.
And Lilith has dated them all.
Unfortunately. There is a guy named Blowtorch, though, so that was...
But I do like.
Well, I was actually more curious. Like, so as an example, Matador. I would love to know some more of Matador's battles with Daredevil. That's just me.
Yes, it is just you.
I don't think there's a lot. I'm sure
it's like one or two.
Yeah, I think it was.
Honestly, I am really surprised Hypno Hustler made it to die in Area 42 in the whole Skrull was the secret invasion.
I know. I'm surprised Scourging hit him in that massacre or whatever.
Exactly. It's like, man, Hypno Hustler, you made it, man. You kept alive that long to wind up here. God bless you, Hypno Hustler. You are the true hero.
Probably just need to retire for a couple.
I'm trying to remember who his partner was, but I can't remember his name. So,
but no, I just like that U.S. agent actually thought ahead and used Pym particles and shrunk his shield down and put it in as like a belt buckle.
Okay, I mean,
he's thinking.
Stylish. It's stylish, man.
It's
the only thing that's weird about that is that okay, so clearly it's already established. So it's already established that shield will easily fit behind you in your shirt or your jacket. It's well established.
But if
that shield has amazing properties, possibly due to Pym particles. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. I mean, they sometimes do that with caps too. But I mean, it's just like, hey, at least, if he gets captured, which he does, if they strip search him, they might miss that shield. Think it's just a belt buckle or something.
Fair enough. It was an interesting choice they made. And also, it's like the inconsistency about what Pym particles are and do. Because this is, again, going back to classic gas-style Pym particles, which maybe was the style at the time. But it's one of those things was like, how do the Pym particles know just to shrink the shield? If you have it as a gaseous...
It's the original smart nano dust, Charlie. Okay?
Okay.
Which is a thing now, if you don't know. It's the actual thing.
They only have two jobs. They shrink stuff and grow stuff, and they do their job.
And they know what exactly to shrink and what exactly to grow.
They could quite possibly be like Meeseeks or something. They have one job to do, and then they're done, and they're happy.
They're Pym particles. They know they don't want to get slapped around by Hank Pym any more than anyone else does.
Hank Pym and Alfred Pennyworth really should hang out together.
Hank Pym and who?
Alfred.
Oh, Alfred. Oh,
because he slapped young Catwoman on Gotham.
Oh,
And look, he beat Bruce up too.
Well, he did worse than that in other stories. So,
well, if you want me to say it, how dare you?
Come on, Bill, speak up.
didn't Alfred once spank Catwoman?
Whoa, I believe so.
Yeah.
It was mutual. No worries. Don't worry about it.
I know everyone. Let's face it. That was their fun gag on the censors. Everyone got that kink out of, especially Lucy and Ricky. Everyone loved to do that kink because what you're gonna say? We can't spank the character? Gee, do you have a problem with corporal discipline? Should parents not spank their children? And there's just like, well, I don't know. It's the 50s. We're allowed to spank people. Exactly. So why can't we spank this lovely woman's tuchus? Do you have an objection to spanking naughty girls as tuchuses? They've been very naughty. We've established that in the story.
To quote this issue, let go of the wheel. You're crazy, man.
Okay. Sorry, we got off topic. What happened? So anything else happened in this issue, Philip?
I don't think. All right.
Priscilla was actually vagabond.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of tied up and gagged people with their shirts off in this issue, so I enjoyed it.
Lilith should have liked it more. Yes.
This is my favorite issue out of the 4.
All right. So let's get to issue 3, Bloodlines.
Bloodlines. What?
Caprice.
Is someone related to somebody in this issue?
Uh-oh.
What's going on?
All right, so Caprice of the Scourge program has captured U.S. agent along with the Scourge agent Bloodstain.
That's a bad name.
That's a 90s name. That is so nice.
No, that's not that's just a bad name. I don't think that's in any way 90s. His Trident logo doesn't make any sense.
They should have just called him Captain Foreshadowing.
Anyway.
Captain Anvil.
Along with the Scourge agent Bloodstain, she drugs and interrogates him in a steam chamber in an attempt to learn his secret identity. Once they get
it's a sweat lodge. I just got that. They're tripping him through a sweat lodge. He's going on a vision quest.
They're gonna give him some ayahuasca.
God.
Once they get enough information to peg him as John Walker, Bloodstain brings him out of his trance while pretending to be his long-lost brother Mike, a soldier whose death was fake so he could enter the CIA's Scourge program. John hesitates to believe the story, but it's plausible. With the seed planted, Bloodstain offers U.S. agent his own place within the Scourge program.
It's not really plausible because the CIA cannot operate on U.S. soil.
They're not supposed to. Is the operative keyword there. They're not supposed to. It's frowned upon, but they do it. It's been proven.
It's illegal!
No one in government breaks the rules. Lilith, what are you talking about?
This is John Walker. No, what I'm going to say is this is John Walker.
I'm a black person. I would like to have a word with you, sir.
This is John Walker we're talking about. Joe Friday, Captain America, who is very by the book. And he immediately going to say, wow, you couldn't possibly be CIA. CIA is not allowed to operate on U.S. soil. You're clearly lying. If you had said FBI, I would have said, oh, of course, that makes perfect sense.
John Walker is a sweet summer child. There, I said it. I said it.
Fair enough.
I'm a sweet summer child.
Oh, my. But, yeah, I mean, again, like Charlie was saying, it's just like, build in the, add to the continuity. It's like, oh, look, more flashbacks of John Walker, about his family.
On the podcast.
Hey. Drew Daniels, a.k.a. Texas Twister.
I love that.
I have questions.
Okay, what's your question? Texas Twister is one of the great Marvel, underused Marvel characters in history.
And he's a
Oh, no, Phil, my drop. And worst of all, Texas Twister. It's alliteration. It's a thing we do here. It's a Big Bang Theory reference. It's fine.
Okay. Well, what I will say is, oh, hey, man, random thought. Did you notice that Laurie Metcalf's daughter on
Young
Big
Sheldon?
Bang Theory? Yeah, sorry, on Young Sheldon and in Umbrella Academy, their last name is both Cooper, and they have Spectrum children. That is a weird cross connection. I noticed when I was watching
weird?
the credits. So, random thing that why is that not a thing? I don't know. But anyway, so in this case, yes. So we're in a sweat lodge with so this is the first weaponization of a sweat lodge I've ever seen, and I'm here for it. Because they're giving hallucinogenics to, although they say it's just sodium pentothal. It's clearly not just sodium pentothal.
Yeah, you don't need all that for truth serum. So
yeah, this is clearly what is it?
It's peyote, homie. It's
proboscis
peyote with a little bit of shrooms.
Yeah, I want to say it's proboscis. I could be wrong. I'm probably murdering that pronunciation, but yeah, it's clearly it's peyote. It's sodium pentothal, and
I'm telling you what it is. It's peyote, a little bit of shrooms, maybe a little bit of ayahuasca on top.
Yeah, it's not lysergic acid. They stuck it on the back of his neck. It was on a little Fred Flintstone postage stamp. And yabba-dabba-doo.
And if the drugs,
groovy, man, groovy.
And if the drugs and the fake brother don't convince him, I swear Caprice is like trying to seduce him on that last page.
Yeah. He's just a honeypot guy, though. Honestly.
No, he's not. He's at Joe Friday. Joe Friday's not going to be seduced by a honeypot. Joe Friday is essentially asexual. In fact, it took them like a decade before they said, we really should have Joe Friday date someone so people don't think he's gay. Because
I'm so glad to not have lived in those times where it's like you're either straight or you're gay.
That's the only reason they put Anne Harriet in the Batman TV series.
Well, I mean, among other things, but yeah. But literally, Harry Morgan is always trying to fix up Joe Friday, and it's an entire like arc. And Joe Friday's like, yeah, I'm married to my work. I'm married to my work. I'm married to my work. And then eventually someone said, if he's that married to his work, maybe he's not married to his work. And they eventually have Joe Friday start a relationship.
Bachelor. Let him be.
Look, it was 1970. They weren't going to let him be. And he eventually starts dating someone. Never marries, like good old Barney Fife. Never marries until, they do the reboot many years later. He eventually marries Thelma Lou, but not until the 80s, which is crazy. That what Thelma Lou put up with, God only knows. But then again, maybe honestly, she didn't want kids. She had her own life. That's Thelma Lou's story. I won't tell Thelma Lou's story in context of Barney Fife's story. So that's my opinion. But yeah, so trying to seduce John Walker, I think, is a dead end because I think John Walker probably doesn't even think that way. I actually think John Walker could be a completely butch ace in the Marvel Universe continuity, and that is my headcanon now. Let's spread that as far as we can that John Walker is a butch ace. He's very masculine, but he is totally asexual.
I would buy that, although it wasn't in West Coast Avengers. He always seemed like he had the hots for Mockingbird, though.
He could be demisexual then.
Yeah, although was it hots for Mockingbird, or did he just? As an example, because in West Coast Avengers, he votes for Mockingbird and Mockingbird votes for him.
But I don't think she didn't know he was voting for her, though. I don't think until later.
No, they didn't know they voted for each other, but it was just, I think that could totally be a mutual respect thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is that it's a mutual respect. And honestly, that was Skrull Mockingbird. So it's entirely possible. She was like, yes, I want to have relations with a mammal. That is, I'm that kind of freak. Don't shame my kink. I want a mammal.
Well,
she was a Skrull. She was like, yes, you have odd tubes attached to your body. I like tubes of assorted variety.
That's a clean drop, Philip. That's a clean drop.
I know. But no, there was one issue with West Coast Avengers. It was during Operation Galactic Storm where a U.S. agent says something to her like, oh, I'm glad we have somebody with those kind of legs on the team or something. And she like knocks him on his butt and it's like, don't you ever, say.
But that could also be showboating, Philip.
Maybe. Or
it was the 80s,
or it's just doing it to annoy Hawkeye.
It could also be that, too, honestly. Obviously, those two have issues. Two narcissists on a team does not work.
It's unresolved sexual tension. Don't worry about it.
He's just doing it to get Hawkeye's attention, yeah.
That could be a possibility, too. But I actually like the idea.
So much subtext. Okay, in these Marvel comic books, it's ridiculous.
There's so
if
much
I ever get to write John Walker,
up.
I'm going to write him as an asexual character. If I ever get that opportunity, that would be that. It was like that because no, I'm really not that interested in sex with you or anybody else. It's like no, I believe in the law and justice and goodness and things of that nature.
Lady Justice is my mistress, see?
Yeah, well, yeah. I served Lady Justice, man. I'm married to my job.
And that's okay.
That's okay. I don't believe in sex before marriage, and I'm already married. I'm married to my job, so that's not a bad thing.
There's a clean drop. All right, so we get to the last one?
Sure, why not?
Issue 4.
The great misdirect. We thought it was the preacher was the secret guy, but I feel that they gave the preacher too many thought bubbles. I think they weren't thinking that.
I feel like this is a Bendis book.
Oh, how dare you!
Well, because I kind of felt like, oh man, if they just let the preacher be the question. Although, and again, it's coming from this spoiler place, where I know the angel, one of the first superheroes of Marvel Comics, who is from, I believe he's in Marvel Comics #1.
I think he is back from. He actually was a character back then.
Yeah, he was one of the original Marvel heroes.
But
although they totally Hawkeye him in this. I'm going to say that right here.
All right,
because when he gives his origins, again, getting more into backstory.
But
like you didn't need powers to be a hero back then. You just needed a good tailor, and I was rich, and I was bored, so I thought, why not be a superhero?
Okay, Batman, calm down.
Exactly.
Whoa.
That was a shot across two different bows right there. Is what
Batman.
That was. Batman, yes.
All right, so this one, Field of Angels, get it? As U.S. agent,
if you build it, they will come.
Phrasing. As U.S. agent attempts to transport Priscilla and the prisoner, they're attacked by two Scourges, Caprice and Bloodstain, in disguise, as they tailed him to the Reverend's house. The prisoner Scourge gets killed by his erstwhile allies, but one of the Scourges is wounded and has to retreat, and the other, who is revealed to be Caprice, gets captured by Walker and Lyons. Interrogated, Caprice leads U.S. agent to Domino, who leads him to the palatial estate of the true originator of the Scourge project, Tom Holloway, former Golden Age hero, the Avenging Angel. Holloway is an old man confined to a wheelchair now, but claims he hooked up with Domino after his retirement to redeem his past failures to stop criminals. Unsympathetic, U.S. agent declares his intent to bring Holloway to justice and shut down the program, except there's still one Scourge left. Bloodstain reveals himself and tries to kill Walker, who is sure by now that the story of his long-lost brother was a lie along with the CIA backing. During the fight, Walker is nearly crushed by the collapsing angel statues that line Holloway's garden, but instead, two statues miraculously fall into each other and spare him, an event he can't help but take as a sign. He then charges Bloodstain, whose gunfire ricochets off U.S. Agent's shield and back into his own head, killing him. See, ironic nickname. With no one left to protect him, Holloway is left to be taken to justice. Later, a recovering U.S. agent has his talk with Reverend Nordstrom, hoping that, unlike the fallen angel, he'll find the true path to redemption.
You know what's weird about this?
Wow.
They don't have a reveal of Bloodstain's face.
Exactly. Well, we probably had a closed casket now.
Well, yeah, I mean, and fair enough. Well, honestly, only the back of the head's blown off.
I mean, it's not
If
the
it goes
brother.
in here, it's just a navel. It's a very small entrance wound. So, but this is my point, because when he takes off the mask, we know the Scourgers are all masters of disguise, like some 90s Dana Carvey, you know. And that's fine, but the fact of the matter is he never really resolves the question of Mike.
Yeah.
And I find that an interesting plot thread to leave dangling. Because even though
only they would have sold better, we would have had a second limited series to answer that question.
Yeah, we could have
Fair
went
enough.
more into that. You know, I'm sure Reverend Nordstrom would have been back, but no, I find it funny that like they've used like a lot of these Golden Age heroes, like they've turned them like into villains, like the Angel here, and then like
They're mad, they're forgotten. I get it.
well, remember who was behind the whole Slingers thing? I mean, what was that? The Black Marvel made a deal with Mephisto.
Mephisto.
well, actually, isn't the Black Marvel related to the new Universe mask that's going around? Or that's the Masked Avenger? I don't know.
Unless they retconned it, yeah. But I mean, this was like late '90s, yeah. Like the Black
Yeah.
Marvel made a deal with Mephisto.
Yeah, well, you know, and for what it's worth, you know, well, you know, obviously Namor, but which they brought back as a villain, which of course is
Wasn't Loki always a villain? They just made it more prevalent and, you know, obvious.
honestly, Loki's the one who does a face turn later. So, you know, so they've done a lot of heel turns in the Marvel Universe. Among those, and that was actually one of the things I thought was interesting in this, is looking at, if you've ever read The 12, which is one of my favorite series by Marvel. So that's a prestige book. It's got the hard back, you know. It's a paperback, but a hardback paperback. The 12 they just grabbed like 12 random 40s heroes to put in here, including the Blue Blade, who honestly is like 1940s Hawkeye, and I love him.
Go ahead, throw it in.
Yeah, he's shirtless with a sword. What is there not to love?
I'm thinking a trend. Conan, Hercules.
Yeah, look, you know, shirtless men are a draw in comic books. I'm not going to deny that. Because
Neither will I, good sir. Neither will I.
Because it gets first off, men like shirtless men because men want to be them, women want to be with them. It's a very simple equation. So, but in the 12, there's a character called the Laughing Mask, who is basically a prosecutor who lets guilty people go free and then murders them. And he is one of the heroes. He's basically a nut with guns who wears a mask from the 40s who winds up in World War II because let's get all the heroes that are running around America and send them overseas, have them kill Nazis instead. And he gets like put to sleep for 40 years and wakes up, yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, once he starts killing people again, they say, yeah, the ballistics on your gun match these ballistics of this gangster you killed in 1938. So you're under arrest, sir. So, but it was cool because it was this idea of this 1940s hero who's using 1940s techniques and 1940s pre-code care about human life. And then suddenly being caught up and like, no, this ain't the 40s no more, kid. This ain't the 40s no more. We have defeated fascism and we're moving towards a better world. This was before 2016. Just so people understand that. There's a weird point in history where fascism was a dead idea and we had really thought we could now make fun of it and put nails in that coffin, and then not so much. So,
But hey, speaking of mysterious figures, not shirtless, but in tank tops, anyone want to hear what Ray had to think about the U.S. Agent miniseries?
I would prefer if
course.
Ray was shirtless, but okay.
And he's called Ray out. Your move, Ray.
I'm just saying. I think Ray should be shirtless while he's doing these texts. I only wear the shirt because this is on camera. But if you're on video, why wear shirts?
All right, so here the I'm assuming fully dressed Ray from Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast, Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast, every month here for Ultimate Spider Cast when we talk Scarlet Spider, and the brand new To Know Hers to Fear Her, the Spider Woman podcast. It is Ray. All right, Ray.
Hello. This is Ray. Just going to drop in some thoughts for U.S. Agent, the limited series, issues 1 to 4. I guess I was looking forward to this series because having read those other lead-up issues in Captain America, which you guys covered, it kind of gave me confidence that this would be a well-told story, and it being Grunwald as well, I guess there'd always be a little bit of bias on my behalf with that. But anyway, the issues 1 to 4, just holistically, I really enjoyed it. I really liked to see Vagabond. I was surprised to actually see her in it, and her Priscilla having quite a bit of a role in there, as well as being integrated with the Scourge. Scourge, I don't know, core? I don't know what you call it. There seems to be a whole enterprise there with the Scourges, but very entertaining tale. I like the twist with Mike, or you know, he meant to be Mike, Bloodstain character. All this kind of stuff. Poor John Walker / Jack Daniels. What is it with his name as well? My gosh, they might as well call him, you know, Duff. Anyway,
Duff.
The poor fella has been through the ringer. Again, some more psychological, mental torture, reliving all those moments. With Grunwald, again, I guess a massive recount and flashback. So for anyone that hasn't read the series, a lot of pages were dedicated to doing a bit of a recap, which I guess is fair enough. But having read the issues just not that long ago, I was kind of like, yep, I know all of this stuff anyway. But I understand why he does it. But anyway, U.S. Agent, a very intriguing, still a very intriguing character for me. I like his interplay, I guess, with the West Coast Avengers, seeing only very fleetingly there with Simon Williams and some of the other ones. I couldn't recognize them. They were either in bikinis and without their masks on. So I'm assuming Mockingbird was in there somewhere. I didn't see Tigra, but that's a shame. Anyway, yeah, no, a really good tale. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head now because I only read it last night. Anything else that kind of popped in? No, I think that's about it. Just I liked how he's a very different kind of Captain America, isn't he? He's got a different angle. He's not as psychopathic now, which is kind of good, but I just do like his character. He's definitely flawed. But yeah, it's a shame that he hasn't got any more series. I don't know if you have read, what is it, Forceworks recently? I think that's where he's been seen most recently, or US Avengers, I think that was called. That was like a few years ago. If so, I don't know what your thoughts on that, or how the current US agent is portrayed. But anyway, no, I really enjoyed this. I'd give it a solid, maybe like a B minus. Nothing outstanding, but it was an entertaining read. Sure, it's something that I'd reread again. Anyway, interested to hear all of your thoughts. Catch you later.
All right, so it's
Well,
official.
Mr. Ray, first off,
Give it a B as in
Batman.
Yes. What I will say is, first off, yes, and again, big fan of Forceworks. They have not given us another issue of that yet.
Oh yeah, COVID.
COVID nonsense. Ta-Nehisi Coates last put John Walker into the Scourge outfit, so definitely pick up your several months ago Captain America to find out what's going on with John. there. And yeah, I agree that yes, John Walker should have a series. He's getting a series. So we should talk about that, Ray. So if you would like to talk about the new John Walker U.S. Agent series, I'm sure Phil can find a spot for us.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, it is coming soon. I'm sure they, whenever they distribute stuff in Australia, but absolutely let me know. We'll make this work because I am down for talking more John Walker. I am here for that man. I don't know if Ray's ready to do a whole podcast with me though.
Listen, put from the gauntlet down. Hey, I'm here, man. I'm just
saying. Honestly, my honest opinion is Ray sounds like so nice and kind and sweet and decent of a person. I worry I'm going to be too much for him with my Americanism. That's all I'm saying. I know I'm an American and I own it. It's like this is part of who I am, and it's not a pleasant thing about being an American. So I'm loud and I'm obnoxious. I'm not a nice Australian like he is.
He's nice and quiet.
I won't say he's quiet. I'm just saying I'm going to say he's polite and respectful and decent, and I'm not always that.
What the F?
Exactly. So I don't want to put Ray in a bad position, but I'm saying, Ray, I'm happy to talk with you about the new U.S. Agent series coming to a comic book store near you.
Out of the gooch.
Me too.
Whatever it is, because that could be fun. And I can stay up late. It's fine. We'll do it on your schedule.
Oh.
Gobble, gobble.
And the challenge has been laid, good sir.
And Lil just asked you, do it shirtless.
I will do it shirtless because I have my father's DNA. Look, honestly, I wear the shirt for your protection, not for mine.
Just when I thought I didn't have any new Charlie drops lately.
Yay! Charlie gets a new drop.
Well, you guys saw Blitzkrieg Escape from Solid 69. You saw me in the suspenders. And the reality is that was my dad. That was, shirts are not something we wear them for other people, not for ourselves.
You talk about pants, the tyranny of clothes.
Basically.
In general, yes. Honestly, we long for that Edgar Rice Burroughs, that E.E. Howard world where, yes, the loincloth was enough. A loincloth is all a man needs.
The boys need air.
Everything needs air. It's like, it's the world, the good Lord gave you skin to protect your body. Let your body protect you. You don't need extra layers on everything, unless it's really cold, then kill a bear and put its skin on yours. That's what bears are for.
Hey, Han Solo.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
All right. Are we done here?
As done as we're going to be.
Hey, look, it's only been an hour. Yay! Good on us.
I've been watching the time. I've been timing this precisely. This was all part of my plan.
There we go.
Nice mustache, Charlie.
I live for this mustache. This is like the hardest part about COVID is I have this beautiful mustache and I must wear a mask wherever I go.
Nice mustache, Charlie.
Paint a mustache on the
That would just be hipsterish, Philip. I worked on this thing. This is a real mustache.
Heaven forbid a Gen Xer is anything but a hipster.
I am not a hipster, thank you very much. I just like mustaches.
Bird.
This is
Anyway, before this gets too ugly.
Gen X doesn't really have loyalty to anyone. That's our point. We all agreed on it. We have no loyalty to anyone. We all agreed. And we are solid in that agreement. That's called hypocrisy. So
anyway, if you want to talk more U.S. agent, hipsters, Wade's World next week. What is it? Deadpool 46 through 48 from, what is it, the year 2000, Lois? Something like that. Yeah.
Ancient times.
And we're going to be
You
reworking.
realize there are people who are voting right now who were not alive when those books were written.
If they can find the mailbox. Anyway, so
For now.
and stay tuned for the
USPS.
and stay tuned for the upcoming Comic Capers updated schedule. So email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-capes. And remember to follow Comic Capers and all the Capes and Lunatics social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the YouTube channel, the Star Trek Patreon. Find all of it. Links to everything all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And remember to support the sponsors, Tweaked Audio. Hey, can you hear me? If not, you might need to get yourself some Tweaked Audio headphones.
I got to shout it at the start of the show, Philip.
I know. And
you don't need to.
Well, then go get Hunt a Killer.
Hunt a Killer. Michelle Gray needs your help, folks. Would you like an escape room delivered to your house once a month? If so, go to hunterkiller.com. Use the coupon code Southgate. Thank me later.
Charlie Esser was right.
That's right. And you go get Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. Volume 1. Get it before Volume 2 comes out. It's in the works. And learn the ins and outs of podcasting. And when you buy that or anything else on Amazon, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help support this network, this show. I just did that backwards. And that masked madman himself, Rob Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain. So says Master Doom.
Yeah. Lilith.
If you guys want to hang out with me on the interwebs, you can find me on Twitter @Lilith Hellfire, or on the gram with the cool kids and the hip grandparents @Lilith Hellfire 86 or @Lilith Hellfire 69.
Be gentle with me.
Charlie Esser.
I just want to say Lilith Hellfire is on the gram like a cracker. And that's my dad joke for the evening. But let me just finish this up by saying, write to me that old-fashioned email, as old people like myself, because I'm an old man, once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog. That is all one word, at gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on Twitter and let me know what you'd like me to live tweet, honestly. If there is a broadcast show that you think this should be live tweeted by Charlie Esser, please let me know, because there is nothing on broadcast TV to live tweet anymore now that everything is streaming. So please help me find something new at Charlie Esser. That's CHARLIE. Yes, SER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing.
Thank you, Maz.
Thank you, skinny rich friend. All right, so yes, come back next week for Wade's World. And go follow the social media. We're putting up an updated schedule. I've got a plan. It's wacky. And
Wacky zany.
And Lilith won't like it, but
I'm here to be the contrarian.
but I'm thinking more Marvel, so Charlie Esser is going to be back. So join us next time.
It's like a Kirkland Meeseeks.